6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa will address the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly today. More parties commend the invitation of the President to the Tamil diaspora for a formal discussion. The Prime Minister today meets the leaders of the parties that support the government. The Foreign Minister meets his Australian counterpart in New York. A considerable decrease in corona cases and fatalities in the island. Children between 12 to 19 years with disabilities or chronic illness will be vaccinated from Friday. News overseas, President Biden urges unity in first UN speech amid tensions with allies. In sports, Australia thrashed India to record their 25th consecutive one-day international match win. And those are the headlines. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa will address the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly today. The President will focus on Sri Lanka's efforts to curb the COVID pandemic, especially its successful vaccination drive. He will also highlight the progress made by Sri Lanka in several other spheres. President has declared in New York his readiness to have a dialogue with Tamil expatriates on a domestic mechanism to address post-war reconciliation efforts. The declaration was made when he met United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres at the United Nations headquarters in New York. Having assured that there was no room for separation to re-emerge in Sri Lanka, President Rajapaksa said all governments should be vigilant about religious extremism. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has told President Gotabaya Rajapaksa that the UN will provide its fullest support to Sri Lanka in moving forward to promote unity among different communities. Meanwhile, parliamentarian M.A. Sumantharan of a Tamil National Alliance commends the invitation of the President to the Tamil diaspora for a formal discussion. He said it is a good sign of the process of reconciliation. Parliamentarian Dr. Suren Raghavan has also commended the President's invitation to Tamil diaspora to deal with the process of reconciliation. A meeting of government's sister party leaders will be held today at the PM's office in Parliament Complex this afternoon under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. According to government sources, the controversy over the decision taken to hand over 40% of the shares of the Yugodhanav power plant to a US company will also be discussed at the meeting. 10 parties that support the government in Parliament have already expressed their displeasure to the government over this decision. Foreign Minister Professor G.L. Pires met his Australian counterpart Maris Payne in New York and discussed avenues for enhancement of cooperation on a wide spectrum of areas. Foreign Minister Payne conveyed the warm greetings of the Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison to his Sri Lankan counterpart and stated that the Prime Minister is personally interested in the preparation for the upcoming celebrations to mark the 75th anniversary of the establishment of the diplomatic relations between the two nations. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The epidemiology unit of the Health Ministry reports that 1,321 more people were tested positive for COVID-19 in Sri Lanka yesterday. This brings the total of corona cases confirmed in the country to 507,330. More than 60,900 active cases are currently under medical care. Total recoveries from the virus infection reached 434,140 so far, as 1,047 more patients were discharged from medical care upon returning to health yesterday. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka registered 66 new COVID-related fatalities on September 20th. The new deaths pushed the official death toll in Sri Lanka to 12,284. State Minister of Cooperative Services Lasantha Alagiwana says an increase in the prices of several items can be expected owing to the global market trends. The government will have to increase the prices to a certain extent based on the price hikes in the global market. The State Minister said further discussion regarding the prices of rice, flour, milk powder, gas and cement will be taken by the end of this week. A special meeting of the Committee on Public Enterprises COPE was held in Parliament yesterday under the chairmanship of Professor Charita Herath. A number of issues, including the future proceedings of the committee and the institutions to be summoned, were discussed at this meeting. As the COPE has not been able to hold meetings in the recent past due to the prevailing COVID situation, the chairman of the committee drew attention to the possibility of holding committee meetings 3 days a week from next week. The committee also drew attention to the progress of the implementation of the recommendations of the second COPE report of the 9th Parliament. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka has announced the appointment of the Assistant Governor JPR Karunaratne as a Secretary to the Monetary Board with effect from 15 September 2021. Assistant Governor JPR Karunaratne holds a Master's degree of Commerce in Finance from the University of New South Wales, Australia, and a postgraduate diploma in Applied Statistics and a Bachelor of Science Physical Science degree from the University of Colombo. He is a fellow member of the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, UK, and an associate member of the Certified Management Accountant, CMA, of Sri Lanka. And that's local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana says that children between 12 to 19 years suffering from disabilities or chronic illness will be vaccinated against COVID-19 from Friday. Reportedly, the US-manufactured anti-coronavirus vaccine Pfizer will be used for this purpose. The vaccination process will be carried out at the Lady Ridgeway Children's Hospital in Colombo. And that was Top News.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watch Light.
Dengue fever is spreading in the country these days due to the existing rainy condition in the country. About 16,000 dengue patients have been reported so far this year. 70% of the dengue cases have been reported from the western province. More cases were reported from the Galle, Hambantota, Kandy, Kurunegala areas. If anyone has fever for more than 2 days, medical treatment should be taken immediately. And that was Watchlight.
World News.
First, let's look at the headlines of the World News Bulletin. President Biden urges unity in first UN speech amid tensions with allies. The Pakistan PM says Afghan girls' school ban would be un-Islamic. Canary Islands volcano, hundreds more evacuated as La Palma lava near sea. And those are the headlines of the World News. In his first address to the United Nations, US President Joe Biden has urged global cooperation through a decisive decade for our world. His calls for unity come amid tension with allies over the US-Afghanistan withdrawal and a major diplomatic row with France over a submarine deal. The US also announced it was doubling its climate finance pledge by 2024. Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan has said preventing women from accessing education in neighbouring Afghanistan would be un-Islamic. In an interview with BBC, Mr. Khan laid out the conditions that could need to be met for Pakistan to formally recognise the new Taliban government. He called for the leadership to be inclusive and to report human rights. Mr. Khan also said Afghanistan should not be used to house terrorists who could threaten Pakistan's security. An erupting volcano on La Palma in the Spanish Canary Islands has forced authorities to evacuate another village in the path of lava towards the sea. The evacuation of El Paso was ordered after lava started spewing from the new crack in the Viejo volcano. More than 6,000 people have fled from lava that has buried hundreds of homes since the eruption began on Sunday. And that was World News. In development news, the conservation of either bank of a Wallaby River, a lower basin, has been started, and 12 kilometers of the river from the starting point will be developed under this program. The Ministry of Environment has allocated a sum of 9 million rupees for this purpose. And that was development news.
Sports news.
In sports, Australia thrashed India by 9 wickets to win their 25th consecutive one-day international match. In the first of the 3-match series in Mackay, 18-year-old pace bowler Darcy Brown took 4 for 33 as she helped restrict India to 225 for 8 from their 50 overs. Australia batted superbly with Rachel Haynes, 93 not out, and Alyssa Healy, 77, putting on 126 for the first wicket. Meg Lanning, playing in a 200th international, made 53 not out as the hosts reached their target in 41 overs. And that was sports news.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are. Download the NSB Pay app from the Play Store or the App Store for free now. For more information, call your nearest NSB branch or 0112 379 379. Conditions apply.
Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The final decision to increase the prices of milk powder will be taken by the Cost of Living Committee at a meeting to be held today. And there is a shortage of milk powder at the open market at present. And that was business news.
Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The central bank has bought 45.9 billion rupees of treasury bills last Friday, taking its total treasury bill stock to 1,330.3 billion rupees. Official data shows foreign reserve losses continue amid non-market interest rates. soft-pegged central banks lose foreign reserves when liquidity is injected to maintain a rigid interest rates structure as convertibility is provided to the new domestic currency. And that was economic news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report.
Finally, in the weather report, showers or thunder showers will occur at times in Sabarakamu, western and northwestern provinces and in Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matara districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in north central, eastern and Uva provinces after 2 p.m. Gotabira. And before we wind up this news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa will address the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly today. More parties commend the invitation of the President to Tamil diaspora for a formal discussion. The Prime Minister today meets the leaders of the parties that support the government. The Foreign Minister meets his Australian counterpart in New York. A considerable decrease in corona cases and fatalities in the island. Children between 12 to 19 years with disabilities or chronic illness will be vaccinated from Friday. With that, we conclude this morning news broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.